Hey everybody, how's everyone doing? Nice. All right. I gave this talk once before. Hopefully this time it's a little tighter. These Ignites are really challenging, so I highly encourage people to consider doing them in the future. So I've been a developer for a long time, and almost all of that time I've been supporting development teams, right? Supporting actual developers. And I've seen a lot of things come along that promise big changes. Things like methodologies, architectures, tools, right? There's always something that us IT people are chasing after, shiny objects. And they've always promised to really give us, these big improvements and, it's going to change the way we work and live. But about 7 or 8 years ago, it started to occur to me that we were always selling this to our business partners in the exact same language. It was going to make us go faster, it was going to save us money, it was going to improve our quality. And I felt like a broken record, and I also felt like a fraud. Then, Cole Forsgren comes out and points out at DOES 2014 that none of this will actually create a strategic advantage because your competitors can all do the exact same thing. So this doesn't really get you ahead. It just doesn't really come from it. And then to further complicate this, we were always doing this within our little teams, within our business units. We were optimizing the subsystems and not the whole, right? So even the efforts that we were trying to do really weren't paying off. Now, we would approach these things the same way every time. We have to break it down into people, process, and tools. We start to look at this. But the difference was we never really trusted our people to do anything new. So we were breaking that down to understand what people we needed. And this is all classic Taylorism for anyone that's familiar with it, which is, we understand a process, we break it down to discrete steps, we figure out how to tell our people to go do the thing they need to do, and that's how we're going to run our business, right? And it just doesn't really work. So in each case, these new approaches, tools, things we were buying tended to be very prescriptive from your company. It wasn't like, hey, go run with it. It was like, we're going to bring this in and tell you how to do it. And they would send you off to training, or worse, make you get a certification. So for anyone who hasn't seen this book, I highly recommend it, Lean Enterprise. It talks about how to embrace a culture of learning and change. It doesn't use the word DevOps ever in it, which makes it that much better. And it talks about how to transform your business into an adaptive, resilient organization. So back when GM was trying to learn TPS from Toyota, Toyota wanted them to say, hey, give me your worst performing plant. They chose this plant in Fremont, which would have been closed down a couple years prior. And Toyota insisted that they bring back all the same employees because they wanted to prove the point that it was management and not the people. Toyota knew that by creating a culture of high trust would bring out the best in these people. It would create high-performing organization. And that you had to give people intrinsic motivators, reasons to want to come to work. It turns out that giving people a chance to be proud of their work is much better motivator than a carrot or a stick, right? It turns out they want to do it, and they start to perform really well. So Numi did go on to become the top performing plant in GM, bringing back the same workforce. So DevOps is about aligning everyone to one shared goal. It's about delivering customer value more quickly without compromising quality. And we can all agree on that. So what we want to do is we want to give our people the tools they need to be able to experiment and learn. And we want them to go figure out what we need. So they're going to figure out the designs and the changes that we need to make. And what comes out of this is your best practices. And these may or may not look like or sound like the best practices you hear people talking about at conferences. It'll be unique to you. And what you get out of that is a bunch of really happy people who are excited and want to come to work. And I've seen this firsthand. You also get to put really cheesy pictures in your slides, so that it's kind of awesome. So what I want to leave with is the idea that DevOps is culture. I'm just going to pause there for a second. And it's about how these people are going to interact, and don't get distracted by the tools, except in as much as it helps support the culture. What makes DevOps different is that it's really about creating a climate of learning and trusting your people to be able to go solve the problems that you have. instead of bringing in the consultants and then telling them what to do, right? So, you're going to build your products. You're going to get the people who are going to build your products and build your company. Thank you.